Welcome to Redacted Tonight. This is the show where Americans in America covering American news are called foreign agents. So this week has been nothing but Republican National Convention, but we had to prep this episode before the best speeches, so I figured I'd give the RNC coverage a break, save it for the YouTube page, and instead focus on some of the other important things going on. Yes, while everyone talks about nothing but how Donald Trump is a moron with a side of shit for brains, there are many other important stories, believe it or not. For example, did you know they can predict who's gonna get cancer now? Yeah. Do you think that might deserve a mention on our nightly news? No, of course not. There's not enough money in stopping cancer quickly. Need to drag it out. Keep it going like a bad relationship. You know, don't get divorced quickly and move on. Let's make each other miserable for a couple of years arguing over who gets stuff neither of us cares about. Like that old armchair, cookbooks we've never used, torn drapes, the kids, etc. Drag it out. I'll get to how scientists can now predict cancer in a moment. But let's back up. According to the National Cancer Institute, in 2020, roughly 1.8 million people will be diagnosed with cancer in the United States, and an estimated 606,520 people will die of cancer this year in the U.S. 600,000 people will die this year in the U.S. That's more than watch the Avengers movies. I'm kidding. Actually, way more watch the Avengers, but still you get the point. And for now, let's ignore that a lot of that cancer is caused by massive corporations utterly destroying our natural world, dumping oil and toxins in our faces. But I'll cover that some other time when, you know, it's a slow news day or I have like a Tuesday off for a little me-cation, as I like to call it. Anyway, in 2017, globally, 9.6 million people were estimated to have died from the various forms of cancer. Every sixth death in the world is due to cancer, making it the second leading cause of death. Second only to eating White Castle and then listening to a Kanye West presidential campaign speech. Anyway, you get the point. Cancer kills a lot of people. We all know that. Many of the most fatal cases are because people don't realize they have it until it's too late. Well, Scientific American is reporting a new experimental blood test detects cancer 4 years before symptoms emerge. 4 years. They tested more than 123,000 healthy individuals in Taizhou, China, which required building a specialized warehouse to store the more than 1.6 million samples they eventually accrued. That's gotta be a gross warehouse. Samples of what? Anyway, over the following 10 years, around 1,000 participants got cancer, and using the new blood test, the researchers knew up to 4 years in advance which participants would get it with a 90% accuracy rate. They knew. The researchers looked at the test and said, this person will get cancer years from now. This person will get cancer. And they were right 90% of the time. That's incredible. That's unheard of. Now, here's my problem with this. Being able to know who's going to get cancer long before symptoms arise could save millions of lives. So why aren't we rushing this through? This could save more lives than curing coronavirus. Let's get on it. But why is this not plastered across Brian Williams' forehead, Sean Hannity's tits? Ooh, I know. There's not wall-to-wall reporting because there's too much money in cancer treatment. It's a fucking cash cow, as seen here. Do you have any idea how much Americans spend on cancer treatment? Cancer exhausts life savings 42% of the time within 2 years. 42% of cancer patients spent their entire life savings in 2 years after they got their diagnosis. The direct medical costs from cancer exceed $80 billion per year in the United States. More than 50% of cancer patients at some point experience bankruptcy and house repossession. $80 billion fucking dollars per year is spent on trying to survive cancer. For the people making money from this, getting rich from this, buying gourmet steaks for their purebred dog that wins contests that shouldn't exist, for those people, do you think they want to let go of that money? No. And they know it would look bad to run around going, don't cure cancer! I have 3 mortgages and yacht payments! Don't stop cancer! What do we want? Cancer. When do we want it? Now! Let's go chemo! Let's go chemo! They know that would not look good. So instead, big pharma and big insurance and big Wall Street, all the Wall Street players, they quietly don't fund the kind of research that would help end cancer. And while that does sound like the kind of thing I would assume without proof, we have the proof. The leaked Goldman Sachs memo to their top investors telling them not to invest in cures because curing things is bad for business, not quote unquote sustainable. And as many of you know, cancer doesn't just destroy the people without health insurance. Even for those with health insurance. The researchers wrote, deductibles and co-payments for treatment, supportive care, and non-medical or indirect costs, e.g. travel, caregiver time, and lost productivity, may be financially devastating even with health care coverage. Okay, so millions of lives destroyed, if not ended. This new advancement in testing would allow us to stop a lot of cancer before it actually got bad, but it's not mentioned on our hack corporate airwaves. I figure if I yell that part loud enough, it might just hurt their feelings. And that's not the only advancement in cancer research you don't hear about in America. For example, Cuba has a lung cancer vaccine that Americans can't get. One of the few articles about it gave the example of an American named George Keyes. Keyes has stage 4 lung cancer. As his treatment options appeared to be dwindling this fall, he went to Cuba for a vaccine treatment despite a federal law that prohibits Americans from going there for health care. A federal law prohibiting people from getting health care. They don't care about you. Do you get it? Can you believe that law even exists? Oh yeah, that was passed along with the mandatory kicking of puppies law and the ordinance requiring daycare send children to play with the used needles under the wharf by the old asbestos plant. Where does the don't get health care law fit into your freedom matrix? Shouldn't we have the freedom to get whatever healthcare treatment we fucking want? If someone thinks they'll cure their arm they lost by shoving a magic crystal up their ass, shouldn't they have the freedom to do it? I mean, it's not for me, but I'm not going to stop you, assuming you scrub down the crystal afterwards. Point is, we aren't free. Not even close. So when it comes to incredible advancements in cancer science, where is Congress? Congress will stop everything to make sure more money is dumped into our weapons of death each year. They'll come back from vacation, skip their daughter's graduation, miss out on their dad's funeral just to pour more cash into fighter jets or to pass bills designed to destroy the people of Venezuela or Syria. They'll come running back to Congress, sprinting back, leaving their toddlers sitting on a swing set, lightly blowing in the wind, just to make sure people in other countries die from our economic brutality. But they can't be bothered to speed up approval of blood tests that prevent cancer. Neither can our corporate media, because they don't serve us. They serve corporate state interests, and curing cancer is not in the interest of the corporate state. Coming to you from Washington, D.C., the belly of the beast is redacted tonight. Oh, shit. I'm missing a shoe. I had 2 shoes. Anyway, let me get to the point. There's a Thanks. All of our content, Redacted Tonight's content, is now in a brand new free app called Portable TV. Okay, you can get every episode, no commercials, all at Portable TV. You can grab it for free, and then I can follow you everywhere you go. I mean, I have been anyway, but this will be less awkward. So go get it. All right, go ahead. Take both shoes this time.